I think the families in Tennessee who've been hurt by this want us to come in and identify the relatively small number of so-called compounding pharmacies, put one person in charge of regulating to make sure the medicine is safe, and hold them accountable to do it. So the surprise to me of the hearing was that many of the doctors in the pain clinics apparently didn't even know they were buying this medicine from a so-called compounding pharmacy. They thought they were buying drugs from a manufacturer who's FDA regulated and therefore safe. I mean, our country has this miracle, really, that we walk into the drugstore or go into the hospital and we just assume that what's being given to us, stuck into us, is safe. And this shakes that confidence.
The name
what is
has
next?
compounding in it, though. That's what confused me about that. This is the New England Compounding Center. So I guess my question is, unless it's just written NECC, how does a hospital or someplace not know that it's a compounder?
Well, most clinicians don't even know there is such a thing as a compounding center. They just assume if they buy a steroid drug that it came from a manufacturer, or that it's filled by a pharmacist at the local drugstore. So that was a surprise to me to learn, and that needs to be fixed. I mean, either these entities are manufacturers regulated by the FDA, or they're not, and then they're regulated by the state board of pharmacy.
On your point about quantifying this, if I understood you correctly, there would be the gray area that Commissioner Hamburg referred to. In Tennessee, there might be 30 to 50 entities that would fall into that gray area.
We probably have more than 1,000 pharmacies in Tennessee, and we're probably talking about 30 to 50 entities of all sizes. And it's those where we need to focus. Those are the so-called
non-traditional?
Non-traditional. But they're either filling prescriptions or they're selling in bulk. And these are in the middle. And as we heard in Massachusetts, the state board did a poor job, even though it had the clear responsibility, and the FDA, perhaps thinking the state board was doing its job, didn't do what it should. So they weren't properly regulated.
So what's the next step, Senator?
Next step is for us to work together to introduce at the beginning of the next session of Congress a bill that puts some regulator on the flagpole for this relatively small number of compounding manufacturers. We don't need to disturb the local drugstore, and we don't need to do more about the big manufacturers. We need to make sure that when a hospital in Tennessee buys a steroid, that it either buys it from a manufacturer who's regulated by the FDA, or it buys it from a pharmacy that's properly regulated, and the latter is what didn't happen.
Not that a pharmacist did this, but the agencies that are supposed to oversee us, our boards of pharmacy, the Food and Drug Administration, let it happen. And the longer they delayed, the longer they dithered, the longer they said, well, we'll get back to you, that just empowered NECC to break even more laws because they knew nobody was going to stop